Boyfriend tells me not to squirt, but I literally cannot help it. How can I talk to him about this? Gonna keep this short. When my boyfriend and I have sex, I squirt. I always have been a squirter, and I have no control over it. He makes comments when I start moaning a lot. He will say something along the lines of, "Please don't squirt." He isn't mean about it. I don't know why he doesn't like it. IDK if it's the mess. Or it grosses him out. I'm kinda wondering if I got one of those Liberator waterproof sex throws, he might be okay with it? I just have no idea how to address it. He is a very sweet and sensitive guy. I know he would feel bad if he realized how bummed I get when he tells me not to. Totally ruins the sex for me. Is there any way for me to compromise here? ETA. We're both 26 and have only been dating a couple months. If he can make a mess with his junk, then so can you. Ask him not to cum next time. Sister, use a towel or find a new man. No one should limit their pleasure or sexual freedom because it offends their partner. You need to take command of this situation. And don't ever be ashamed for who you are. He is a very sweet and sensitive guy. That he might be, but he is most definitely clueless if he thinks that is something you are consciously doing. Sit him down outside of sex and point out that squirting is just something that some people do and that you can't control it. You can accommodate, lay a towel or whatever, but him asking you not to is like asking you to snort a line of pepper and not sneeze. It's just something our bodies do. If he can't accept that, then you need to revoke your assessment of him being sweet or sensitive. Note that me hoping he is just naive is the best possible outcome. Tell him if he can learn to cum and not ejaculate, you will learn to stop squirting. Seems like he is allowed to make his mess, but you aren't allowed to make yours. I think you need to be honest with him and tell him what you said here. It isn't within your control and that it really ruins it for you to be told not to, cause he is basically asking you not to cum. Dude, dump this fool and find you a man that lives for that shit. There's plenty of people out there that are way into it. Tell him, please don't cum, next time. Dude should not be shaming you for bodily functions. Holy sexism Batman. He could easily Google how squirting works, but nope, he's just gonna assume you can decide not to. That being said, just explain to him that it doesn't really work like that. I'm guessing he squirts a bit too when he finishes, so one would hope he will be understanding. If it's the mess that bothers him, there are special blankets that you can buy from adult stores, sites that are waterproof and specifically for this sort of thing. I had an ex who made me squirt just about every time, so we purchased one. Sadly, I haven't found another guy who could do the same. Lol. WTF is with everyone instantly jumping on the dump him, her reply on every post. If he's sweet and sensitive like you say he is and you like him, then just talk to him about how it makes you feel and that it's not something you can control. I'm sure if you bring it up, he'll tell you what about it he doesn't like, and then you can both work out a way to where both of you are happy and satisfied. If after the talk you think this isn't something that can be fixed between the two of you, then it just wasn't meant to be and you can go your separate ways. It really shouldn't be this difficult just to communicate with your partner. Please don't be so quick to judge instead of trying to at least talk about it first. Just talk to him. You literally can't stop it. Like a man jizzing, he literally can't stop it all from coming out. Ask him about it. Ask why he doesn't like it. Communication always wins. Sounds like he's about to lose his girl. I would love if my girl squirted, that's actually amazing. Not many girls seem to be able to consistently do it, so based on my experience you're special. Tell him you only want to have sex with a soft PP and just don't get hard. Edit. You both should do what you can to control the mess together. Tell him not to squirt. Your boyfriend a bitch, tears of joy. As a squirter myself, I love my Liberator waterproof sex throw. Though I've heard some waterproof dog blankets work just as well. I'm actually the one uncomfortable with making a mess in my relationship. Now that we have the throw, I can relax and cum as much as I want with any hassle besides putting down the throw and taking it off, carefully cold sweat smile, when I'm done. He sounds really inexperienced about what squirting works. I agree. Tell him it is the same as telling you not to cum. If he doesn't get it, remind him while having sex and shut the whole thing down if you have to. Don't have sex with someone who doesn't care about your pleasure, enjoyment. He's an childish fool. Tell him not to ejaculate. See how he likes that. Idiot. That's so hot. Regardless of laundry duties, I would welcome that all day long. Maybe he's just thinking of the laundry when he should be thinking of your pleasure? The fancy throw might work, Or a towel. Dump him. I actually have a similar issue but reversed. She keeps herself from squirting because she feels self-conscious about making a mess. Meanwhile I'm over here trying to slurp that mess up, rolling on the floor laughing. As for yours, I think you should have a serious talk about what you want from your sex life. Hey, I squirt. I like to squirt, it feels good. I don't like you imposing limitations on something I like and honestly don't have much control over. Get with it or I'll find someone who will love it. Make no mistake, not fulfilling your partner's sexual needs is an absolute deal-breaker in a relationship that is sexually active. Wait, he makes a comment that I can't understand. He does realize what is happening, right? It's an orgasm and not pee. Some guys are clueless. If he can come and make a mess, so can you. He can either get on board with how human anatomy works or he can stop dating women. Instead of talking to your boyfriend and have an actual conversation, you rather go ask internet stranger and guess his intention. Like why? What is it that makes people afraid of communication? If he is sweet like you said he is, then why don't you just ask him? Leave that man. Any man would love making his woman do that. You are both sexual incompatible and the next step is to break up. He won't stop disliking squirting and you can't stop it. Personally, I find it sexy when a girl squirts, but that's besides the point. You can't help your bodily function. If he really can't get over it, then he's gotta go. You can find someone who is mature about it. Also, I would suggest getting a mattress protector regardless of whether you squirt or not. Just keeps your mattress nice and clean. I have one on my bed and it's pretty dope. It goes over the entire mattress and then you can unzip and take the top off of it so you can just wash the top. Ask him not to come and make any noises just cause you don't like it. In all seriousness, it's time to have a serious talk with him as to why he doesn't seem to enjoy your pleasure during sex and for you to then take your leave. Edit. The amount of people on this spread who think squirt is just straight up pee is insane. If I was the BF, I would be so happy that I can give you what you want. WTF. My ex would have killed for me to squirt. My body just won't allow it, lol. Just tell him how you feel, be honest. If he's a dick about it, I guess it's better to cut your losses and find someone who is into it. Best of luck to you. Ask him to come without ejaculating, because that's what he's expecting from you. If he can't wrap his brain around that and just wants to be selfish, this isn't the partner you want long term. I'm really sorry for saying this. I hope I don't offend you or make you feel insecure, but since squirt is mostly just pee, I'd be kind of grossed out as well, so I get his point. If you really can't control it, it seems like you guys are incompatible. There are tons of guys who absolutely love girls who squirt. Me and my fiancé got a blanket that is basically for little kids in case they wee in the bed. Now only that gets wet during sex and then we just wash it after, there's no mess at all. I highly recommend buying one yourself if you do not have one. If your BFF's problem isn't the mess, then maybe you guys need to talk it through. But if you're a squirter, he's essentially telling you not to come, which is just plain unfair. Tell him not to ejaculate when he orgasms and see how doable he thinks that is. Tell him not to ejaculate then. See how hard it is then. Squirting is basically peeing, so maybe tell him it's not actually urine but kinda is, and tell him what's actually in it. Maybe he will be more fine with it knowing what it is. He may not be okay with being peed on. So his mess is okay and your mess is what? Gross? Please dump this sweet sensitive guy who is a jerk actually. Do you know how many men would love to be with a squirter? Absolutely nothing makes you feel more like a man than making your girl gush all over the place. You know you did your job right, ain't no faking that shit. Get a towel. Other than that, it would be truly tiring to change bedsheets every single time. People compare it to a guy's cum, but squirt is piss. And depending how much it is, the volume can reach insane limits. Hey boyfriend, I squirt. I'm a squirter. I enjoy orgasms and I'm going to continue to enjoy them. Hence, I'll continue to squirt. Sorry you don't feel great about it. This however is who I am. It really isn't more difficult than that. Either he'll accept and understand, or he's not very mature. FYI. There are guys who would consider themselves extremely lucky to be with you, and not just for the squirting part. The way for you to compromise is to stop squirting. Oh? You can't do that? So, instead then he needs to grow the fuck up and read a book about anatomy. What the actual fuck is wrong with him? I mean, his girlfriend does anal, gets off and squirts regularly and he still is unhappy. SMH. WTH. So he'd rather you don't orgasm? Maybe tell him that he shouldn't ever ejaculate. Well, there is no easy way to address it. You just have to talk to him. How is this guy, very sweet and sensitive, and say things like that to you? Tell him to come without ejaculating lol. Easy. Find a new boyfriend. Let me get this straight. You squirt and do anal, and this guy is complaining. WTF. Maybe it is time to move on. Feel free to PM me. JK. You need to tell him that it is a natural function, and if he does not want it to happen, drop a towel down or you can stop having sex. I can only agree with those who tell you that this is nothing you should or can hide or feel ashamed of. But PLS, don't make a RETHORIC deal along. If you don't ejaculate, I won't squirt. First of all, again, it's nothing to be bargained about, but just as important, you might lose this bargain. There is a very simple way to not ejaculate during an orgasm for men. It's called ejaculation, and ladies appreciate if I do that when they give me a blowjob, so they don't have some uncomfortable surprise. Important note, this is a proper way of birth control. I just feel obliged to mention this every time. So PLS, just seek an open talk about how you feel, and if he really is as sweet, then he should accept you as you are. Less than 3.